Hello, and welcome back to CinemaBurger's 13 Nights of Halloween, and we continue with the Amazon and Blumhouse original, Nocturne. This is one of the 4 Blumhouse movies presented on Amazon, and it's about a young girl in school for playing the piano with a twin sister, and things take a weird turn. So Nocturne stars Sydney Sweeney as Juliet and Madeline Eisman as Vivian. They are twin sisters and both with great piano skills, and they're both on their way to become prodigies. Now, Sydney Sweeney has appeared in Sharp Objects, The Handmaid's Tale, and Euphoria, and Madison Eisman has appeared in Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, and Jumanji, The Next Level, Goosebumps 2, A Haunted Halloween, and Annabelle Comes Home. Now, the movie opens with a girl named Moira playing the violin, and she's playing very intensely, and there's weird drawings on the wall and this weird sun symbol. Now, all of a sudden, she stops playing, opens her window, and jumps out. Apparently she was on the way to play live for this orchestra, and she was going to get a chance at Juilliard or something. So they pick Vivian to replace her and play this piece. Now, Juliet has always been like second banana to Vivian, even though they are both twins. Vivian clearly has more talent and was brought up to be the prodigy, while Juliet was like the understudy or second in line. She basically studied her whole life from when she was a kid. She never really had a full childhood. And it seems like Vivian does, since she has like a boyfriend and more friends and stuff, while Juliet's very quiet and keeps to herself. Now, there is some jealousy with Juliet, and she shows that. Now, her performance is very laid back and just pent up. Now, Juliet finds the notebook that Moira had with all the music theory and skills, so she starts looking through the notebook, and from then on things start getting weird for Juliet. She starts seeing this weird sun symbol, she has weird dreams and hallucinations, but they don't really play up the supernatural or dreamlike states as much as they should. The movie is a lot about jealousy and, I guess, betrayal. Now, Juliet is on antidepressants too, and that coupled with finding this notebook and looking through it, there's like 5 stages to success in the book, and these stages start to happen to her like success, but like betrayal, sadness. We keep finding out more and more what happened to Moira before, and she apparently lost her parents in an accident right before she killed herself. There's one sequence where Juliet has a dream, and this is actually pretty creepy. This is probably one of the best scenes in the movie, where she sees Moira as a zombie in her room. There's no sound at all. Moira's eyes are very like bloodshot and pale. There's like a piece missing from her head, probably where she fell out of the window, and you see Juliet screaming, but it's all silent, and it's a great scene, and then Juliet wakes up. Now, there's Juliet's current teacher who's training her for piano kind of like badmouths her, saying like, you should have picked other schools, and you can't just hope to get into Juilliard, and he says that like she was never going to be that good, and Juliet like badmouths the teacher, and then the teacher slaps him, so Juliet gets a new teacher who's actually teacher for Vivian as well. Now, as Juliet has this notebook, that she starts to become more like aggressive and trying to get what she wants more clearly. There's an argument with Vivian, and she ends up pushing her, and her arm gets broken, so Vivian can't play the piano, so they pick Juliet to play this piece now. And also, Vivian is having issues with her boyfriend, and Juliet ends up like sleeping with the boyfriend. So there's a lot going on. Now, throughout the movie, Juliet sees these glimpses of this sun, and she has hallucinations, but they're very few and far between, unfortunately. They should have really played up the supernatural element a lot more in this movie, because if you take out that element, the outcome of the movie and everything that happens is really unaffected. It's kind of more like a soap opera, I would say. But you always want to know what's going on with the book and things like that, but we just keep seeing scenes of the daily lives of Juliet and Vivian and their struggles for perfection. But you don't really care. That's the problem. So now Juliet, with the new teacher starts giving her encouragement, and I guess she starts to develop feelings for him. But it turns out he was actually sleeping with Vivian, the sister, and a lot of the images in the book start to happen, like burning of a trophy that the teacher had, and like a sex position that she ends up doing with the sister's boyfriend. So like these things are happening in the book, but it's not like a supernatural thing occurring. It's just, oh, she's doing these things, but other than that, she could have done it without the book. She just keeps seeing glimpses of this sun symbol, and it's like really bright in her eyes. Now there's a family dinner for the two sisters' birthdays, and it's right before Juliet's going to play the piece. And there's an argument at dinner, and it's right before the piece is played. Now the teacher, it doesn't show up for her Juliet playing the piece because of their argument, and he doesn't slap her, but Juliet kisses the teacher thinking that they were going to do something, and he's like, no, I was just giving you encouragement so you can do well. And also says like that you were always second best also. So Juliet leaves in a hurry. Now, none of the performances in this movie really stand out. They're kind of just like laid back and very subtle, but too subtle. So it's kind of like they're sleeping through the whole movie. So we get to the final scene. Juliet's about to play the piece. All of a sudden, she like freaks out. She leaves. She goes to the roof. So she's basically gonna do what Moira did. And as she's looking over the edge of the roof, she looks up in the sky and she sees that sun symbol again. And then you hear piano playing in the background, and then it cuts to the performance hall, and Juliet is playing the piece perfectly, and everyone clapped and applauded. So I guess it's like, oh, I guess she's not gonna jump. So she was able to not get betrayed by this book. Now in the book there was a step 6 that was ripped out of the book. I guess Moira ripped it out or something before she killed herself. So as she's bowing and crying of happiness, it cuts to Juliet upside down bloody. So it turns out she did jump, and she succumbed to the same fate that Moira did with the book. Now the camera zooms out on Juliet. She's on this pointy statue, and people are just starting to walk by and nobody notices, and then like the movie ends. So I'm like, that's really lame, because they didn't explain anything about this book. They didn't go far enough with the supernatural element. There was like one really cool scene was the dream sequence with Moira dead and there's no sound. But everything else was just kind of boring and uninspiring, really. Now, out of the 3 Blumhouse Amazon original movies, this isn't the worst one that I've seen so far, but it's just the most bland, and sometimes that's worse than either really good or really bad. So, I would not recommend Nocturne. I'd give it like 1.5 stars because it had potential, but it's wasted potential, which is the problem. So let's hope the last Amazon original movie, Evil Eye, steps up to the plate. Alright, I'm CinemaBurger, and I'll see you next time.